So my name is Joe Johnston, and I live in a modern village called Agritopia, located in Gilbert, about a half hour from here. And in designing Agritopia, we wanted to try to avoid the problems of modern suburbia and also try to take on the ideals of traditional village life. We think that the problems of suburbia are really rooted in one thing, and that is segregation. And by segregation, I mean developers are trying to sell a product, houses, instead of trying to create community. And so they target products for various people groups. And that tends to separate us by age, by income, by size of family. And then also through zoning, uses are separated. So education, employment, commerce, those are all separated from one another. And that separation in distance means we need to get into our cars to go access all of those uses. Well, the use of the car, which is isolating, plus all the walls and separations tend to make us feel isolated and not a part of community. We don't know our neighbors. We feel alone. Now, this is not the case in a traditional village. A traditional village is integrated. It's integrated with regards to housing in that people of all ages and all stages live in close proximity to one another, and that creates a rich fabric of thought and of relationships. In addition, the uses are all working together and integrated. You'll find farming, you'll find education, employment, all kind of blended together. And they're connected in such a way that you don't have to use a car. You can walk or you can take a bicycle. Now, because of this close integration and connectivity, you start to become a villager by interactions that some of them are accidental, some of them intentional, but you start forming this web of relationships that creates village life. So how can we encourage that in suburbia? Well, first of all, we need to acknowledge that a village is not the built environment. A village is people. And unfortunately, the tools that we have are to design the built environment and the rules that govern it and hope that that will attract people that want to have community. So how did we go about that? First of all, we wanted to make sure that there are houses of a variety of sizes all on the same street. And so we fixed the lot width to a standard lot width, and then we made sure that the maximum floor size on the first floor was the same for every house. And if you wanted to go bigger, then you would go have a basement or a loft. And then we also changed the zoning so that you could build more than one house on a lot. So as a result, in Agritopia, on a typical street, you can have a house from 450 square feet to 5,000 square feet. Now, not everybody wants to live in a single-family home. And so we also designed in assisted living for seniors, and we're also working on loft-style apartments in the future. So we also want to integrate the uses as well, and we used a tool called the planned area development, where we can essentially design our own zoning laws. And so we threw out the kind of idea of separating uses and instead came up with a plan to integrate them together. And so if you go to Agritopia, you'll see an urban farm that's next to a school, next to restaurants, next to assisted living, and it's all tied together. How did we then continue on and connect everything together? So first of all, we made sure that we got rid of block walls and had vinyl fences so you could talk over them. We made sure that the sidewalks were very pleasing to get people out of cars and that it would be tree-lined and pleasant, connecting all the uses together. We also added porches to the houses so that as you're walking down the sidewalk, you could talk to your neighbor on the porch in that transitional area. Now, having connected people together physically, we also wanted to work on having social interaction. So the HOA has annual events like Camptopia, food and beverage nights, movie nights, all that kind of thing to bring people together and connect them. And also, even our farm locally has a farmer's market on Wednesday night and a food truck event to pull people together. So it's worked for us at Agritopia, and we have created village life. And what I'd like to encourage you to do is create village life where you're at by trying to integrate people together, integrate uses, and connect people together. Thank you.